Marshall's best friend was Edmund Carpenter, who's an anthropologist. And Carpenter and McLuhan actually, few people, but McLuhan was the only author on the books. And that was because Carpenter married very wealthy and didn't need to advance his career.
Oh.
And so he just never cared about who the author was on the book. He let Marshall take all the credit. So in the background of all those books by Marshall McLuhan is an anthropologist, Edmund Carpenter. And he actually worked in villages that, there are pictures actually in Edmund Carpenter's books. And I once walked into a village that was unnamed in Carpenter's book, and I just immediately recognized this is from Carpenter's book, and I could hold up the picture and actually identify each of the houses. He had been there 35 years before me. When I arrived, well, when he first got there, he was the first one into this village in New Guinea to bring cameras, and he wrote about it as, he said he felt like he was bringing DDT into their environment in the same, because he was studying media environments, and he felt like just the camera itself was like DDT to their culture, that it was going to destroy their culture. When I arrived 35 years later, that village actually had been abandoned, and they were all living 2 miles away on this government road with electricity and you know, radios and televisions and all that kind of stuff. So it really was pretty dramatic shift. It took a lot longer than he thought it would. But well, so what his idea is that media really is our environment. That it so encompasses our lives that it's just all around us all the time. That's actually why I'm so interested in using media in my classes. Is not because my students like that I use media in my classes. I use it and I ask them to use it in ways that make them more aware of how media might be using them. There's a really great pioneer in this. He wrote this book called Un-TV and the 10-Mile-Per-Hour Car. He's a sociologist, and I'm blanking on his name, so I'm just going to look it up real quick. But it's a great book. It's almost 20 years old now. That you guys can all see it there. I can bring it up if anybody else, if somebody else wants to link it. I'll try to paste it here. So there's the link. It's by Bernard McGrain, and what he has in there are a bunch of experiments. You can see the name of the subtitle is called Experiments in Personal Freedom in Everyday Life. And what it is it's about understanding how technologies around you, like televisions and cars, I mean, he's doing this in the early 90s, how these things affect your life in ways that you might not be aware of. And so he asked you, for example, to do a series of experiments with your television. So you turn the sound off, and then he asked you just to count the technical events. Like if there's a zoom in, you know, that's 1. If they zoom out, that's 2. If they're scrolling text across the screen, that's 3. If there's a pan, that's 4. And you just watch the point of this is to look at television not for what it's saying, but for what it's doing and how it forces you to see the world. And there's a lot of really great insights in that book beyond just television. The effects of the car, for example, and how it changed the way we build our cities, those types of things. It's all revealed through these really interesting experiments.